Hi, my name is Kimberly Morgan.
And I'm Nick Sheedy. Together, we are the genealogists for the PBS television show Finding Your Roots.
Today, we're going to answer your ancestry questions that were submitted on the show's Facebook page.
Let's get started.
How many hours of research goes into each person's ancestry who appears on the series? Do you come to many dead ends and have to reverse your area of investigation and go in a different direction? While each guest may vary, typically in terms of genealogical research, Nick and I average about 200 to 400 hours of primary research for each guest. It can be longer depending on the amount of DNA analysis a person may need or how complicated the research is in terms of available resources and what we're able to find online.
And as far as dead ends go, yes, we do occasionally run into a dead end and you just can't get past some little roadblock. A child is orphaned. Sometimes you catch a teenager living alone in 1900 and they haven't been born when the 1880 census was taken, so here's a little gap. And then occasionally immigrant ancestors, we find them on a ship arriving, but we just can't get back to the old country. And so, yeah, there are occasionally dead ends because we never know what someone's pedigree is going to look like when we sign on a guest. We get the guest, they fill out a questionnaire, and that's the first we know who their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents were. And so we never know what we're going to find. And so we try to map out as many ancestors as we can. And then the production team, they may look for a story here or look for a story there. And then we have to do follow-up research to prove the line back to a Revolutionary War veteran that they want to tell this story. And so it's a collaborative effort. It's a team effort. And we really have to focus our research to prove relationships so that we can tell the stories that we find. Can you discuss the process of becoming a professional genealogist? I'm currently pursuing a history master's and I've always been curious about getting certified. Well, you don't have to be certified to become a professional genealogist. You could hang out your shingle, but there is certification processes. There's a number of schools that provide classes. Brigham Young University in Utah, Salt Lake Community College in Utah, I think Boston University. And so they offer certification programs. There's also the Association of Professional Genealogists. This is an organization that certified, you need to become certified to join this organization. And they have professional standards that you need to adhere to. And so there's processes there, but I would recommend going to the Association for Professional Genealogists website. And there's lots of tutorials there and how-tos about becoming certified and what areas you might want to become certified. And then there's always the question of how do you get clients and how do you hang out your shingle? How do you drum up business? How do you get your name out there? And so that's a whole another ball of wax. But Kimberly, what are your thoughts here?
My suggestion or my feedback would be to take every opportunity you have to educate yourself and to challenge yourself in order to constantly be working to perfect your skill set. If there's a certain area of genealogy that you really love or that you seem to have a good knack for it, focus on that and keep working and challenging yourself to hone that skill set so you can become an expert. And the other thing is just to do it. To practice and to do genealogical research as much as you can and make sure that you're challenging yourself. You're doing as many different types of research as you can, immigrants, unknown parentage, adoptees, and just challenge yourself and keep trying to, quote, level up in your skill set. And the other thing I would recommend is to practice writing, write a blog, write articles for genealogical magazines. You need to work on your writing skills. And the last thing would be to network. Every paying genealogical job that I've had, professional genealogy job, I have had the opportunity for that job through word of mouth. I was referred. And I made those connections through networking. I created relationships with people and in the genealogical community. There's tons of Facebook groups, blogs, and events like Roots Tech. You can meet people at Roots Tech, you can meet people at I4GG, and you just develop professional and personal friendships with them and foster those relationships.
I thought of one other thing that we should probably add, and that is being a professional genealogist doesn't just mean you're researching people's family trees for fun, because there are some aspects of genealogy that are actually quite different. For instance, as a professional genealogist, I often was asked to document families for intestate probate cases. Somebody died, nobody knows who their relatives are. You had to identify their parents, their grandparents, go looking for first cousins. Oh, both their parents were first or only children. Now you're looking for second cousins. And that's an important function for a professional genealogist, and there's a need for that. And then, Kim, what were you doing before you came to Finding Your Roots?
Before I came on to the team at Finding Your Roots, I was doing a couple of freelance projects. I have worked for archaeological companies who were surveying historic cemeteries, helping them to identify the people that were buried within the cemetery. I've consulted with writers of movie scripts to make sure the information in the script is correct. And I also was a contractor for a division of the United States Army called the Past Conflicts Repatriations Branch, or the PCRB. And the mission of the PCRB is to recover and repatriate the remains of unaccounted for soldiers from past conflicts, including Korea, Vietnam, and World War II. And that Army casework gave me a lot of great experience because I was researching soldiers with every kind of background you could imagine. So, the possibilities are limitless.
What is the coolest family connection you have ever found? After watching the show, it seems like we are all cousins. I would say the coolest family connections I have found are not on air, because guess what? What's the most interesting family to you? Your own family. What's coolest to me, and it really hammers your point home, is how many of our guests I'm related to. I'm related to Neil Patrick Harris and Bill Hader and Billie Jean King and Ted Danson. And I'm probably related to 10 to 15% of our guests that I know of, especially our white guests that have deep colonial ancestry. But I've also noticed, family names that are familiar to me, and I've seen the DNA. I'm like, whoa, they match DNA with my grandmother. John Waters is related to my grandma Betty on both sides of his family. So yes, it is a small world. And the coolest family connections I've found are to me and them. And it's kind of like that aha moment a couple seasons ago with Bernie Sanders and Larry David, where they find out they're cousins, and here they've been chumming with each other. And yes, it makes you wonder sometimes, why do we even care about all of these family stories and connections if we realized how closely related we really all are? And the answer to that is, of course, we like the stories, and the stories are what makes this history come alive and connects us to it, so that we have some context where we fit into this history, this family history, and this global history. So that's the coolest connection I found, which is lots of little connections to many of our guests.
The most amazing personal family discovery that I've made is in 2004, I found this dirty old tombstone in the woods. And it was the tombstone of a man that had died in 1882. And he was just buried alone out in the woods. And after years of research, I was able to identify and find his great niece who was alive and living in Atlanta. And we connected through ancestry because of our research. She was researching this man, and his sister was her great grandmother. And we met in person, and we instantly clicked. Her name is Akosa Moore, and she's the sister I never had. And she's become one of my closest friends, and that's because of genealogy and because of research. I had a blast going through these questions with you, Nick. Thanks so much to the Finding Your Roots community for the incredible questions.
I did too, Kimberly. It is such a thrill to be part of the Finding Your Roots community.
See you soon, and stream full episodes of Finding Your Roots on pbs.org/findingyourroots and on the PBS video app.